Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating another page in my handmade journal, and of course, as always, I will link up the original making of the journal video to the top right corner info box of the video screen, and you will also find it linked up in the video description. I'm working with mixed media paper. It's the one from Canson, and I'm creating the background using distress inks, and I'm using a baking mat because the inks work much better on such a surface in comparison to a glass plate. If you have a craft mat, it will do the same job. When you use glass for the distress inks or also the oxides, and you add water, the colors run together to one big puddle and you don't get that nice texture. I went in with the picked raspberry distress ink, and now I'm going on top with the distress oxide in mustard seed. I love combining the distress inks with the oxides because you get more depth on your background. The inks, the normal distress inks, don't have that oxidizing effect, and that makes them much brighter than the distress oxides. But the oxides have that interesting texture and that oxidized effect, and that makes the whole background look even more interesting when you mix both kind of inks together. I'm heat setting the warm colors because I don't want to create mud, and now I'm going in with the cool tones. So that means I'm adding blues and greens. I'm working until I'm happy with the background of the page. And don't forget to check out my videos that I've linked up to the info box, because I have done a bunch of art journal pages using distress inks or oxides lately. With the cool colors, I also do a mixture. I've used distress ink and here I'm using oxides. I will mention all the colors I've used in the video description. While I'm drying the background with my heat tool, I spritz a little bit of water onto it to create even more texture. When the background is dry, I'm stamping a frame around it. I'm using one of my doodle borders and I use it together with Archival Ink. I have lined up my stamp on a grid block, so I am able to stamp it directly to the edges of the page. I'm now going in with some more background stamping, and here I'm using the Oxide inks together with some of my mixed media stamps. And the Oxide inks are a part of pigment ink and dye ink, and the part pigment ink is more opaque, so you can see what you've stamped. To create even more texture, I'm also adding in some splatters, and therefore I'm just squishing the Oxide mustard seed to my glass plate. And here you can see that it runs together to one big puddle when you spray it with water, so you can't create these awesome backgrounds. But I just picked that ink up and make some splatters on my page. And these splatters will react with the background as it's a water reactive ink, and will create even more interesting texture. While the background is drying completely, I'm stamping my main images, and I will also color them in. I'm using the Arteza real brush pens, and I'm working on the Canson XL watercolor paper. As these stamps have very fine details going outside the image itself, I stamp them also to my background, and then I can cut the colored images out directly on the black outline and just glue it into that impression. I'm using just a normal glue stick to stick the flowers down. To make the flowers look more vibrant and more dimensional, I'm adding some highlights with a white pastel pencil. I want to make them pop even more from the background, so I'm using a black watercolor pencil and outline the flowers, and then I will blend them with water. After I've done this step, I wasn't sure if this was the right decision, but that's the meaning of art journaling. It's kind of a practice, it's experimenting, and it's fun. And when you don't like something, you can note that down, or you maybe just can remember the next time and you don't have to do it again. To finish the page up, I'm adding a title, and I have also highlighted the border with that white chalk pencil. And that was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you will see us next time. Bye!